Hello there, welcome to Encore. It is movie release day here in France, so we're talking cinema with our film critic Lisa Nettleson. Coming up, they're calling it a Hitchcockian, Lynchian romantic thriller with comedy thrown in for fun. Sounds bewildering. We'll be finding out just what this week's big French release, Love is the Perfect Crime, is all about. Could this be the strangest birthday present ever? Franco-German movie A Pact introduces us to the chilling idea of gifting a girlfriend. Lisa will tell us why she quite enjoyed it. And how often do you watch French films? We're reporting on how France's movie industry is trying to reach an ever bigger global audience. Let's get the show started. Hi there, Lisa.
Hello.
It's great to see you again for our movie show, and welcome to you at home. Thanks for watching. Now, we're going to be starting off with a pair of filmmaking brothers who are releasing what they describe as a romantic thriller. It's called L'amour est un crime parfait, or Love is the Perfect Crime. It's by Arnaud and Jean-Marie Larieux. It got called Wickedly Fun at its premiere by the Toronto Film Festival. Now, Lisa, what is a romantic thriller, and is it wickedly fun?
Well, in this case, it's the story of a man who teaches creative writing at a university in Lausanne. He's played by Mathieu Almaric, and he has students and other women constantly throwing themselves at him. And in the very beginning, he's on a windy road out in the mountains in the Alps, and he's with a very attractive, very hot-to-trot young lady who then disappears. So it's a romantic thriller in that people are having sex frequently, and it's also a thriller in that mysterious things are going on, and the quality of this character, Mark's life, seems to be unraveling.
And it all takes place up in the mountains, we think something like Switzerland. It looks like the Alps anyway. The Larieux brothers are getting comparisons for this film to Hitchcock, David Lynch. Now, Lisa, Lynch perhaps because it's in the mountains, Twin Peaks. Did you see comparisons here?
No, I think that's stretching it, and I think it's overly complimentary. I have to say that I've enjoyed these guys' work from the very start. They've been making movies together for 13 or 14 years. One of the things they always do is show us the landscape, the great outdoors. A great many French movies take place in, dining rooms and cafes and in Paris and in big cities. These guys are outdoors. My problem with the film, and the reason that it doesn't click for me, is that Mathieu Almaric's character is supposed to be sexually irresistible, and he just sort of really isn't. So we don't have any overwhelming desire to see him coupling right and left, and that's sort of what his character is based on.
But maybe he's these women's cup of tea, Lisa. You never know. Taste is very different, isn't it? Well, we'll move on to a Franco-German production now called Pour ton anniversaire in French, or A Pact in English. Before we get into everything, let's just get our heads around the plot. Now, Georg is going out with Anna, but he says he'll give Anna to his friend Paul as a kind of birthday present. Now, the stipulation is that Georg gets her back whenever he wants. Now, many years later, when Anna and Paul are actually living together happily as 40-somethings, Georg does return, but is he back for Anna? Here's the trailer.
Anna hat mir das hier gegeben.
Also gut, wenn du willst, Anna gehört dir. Wenn ich zurückkomme, will ich sie wieder. Und ich will dieselbe. Oder eine so ähnlich wie möglich.
Deine Tochter? Fantastisch. Komisch, wie sehr sie ihrer Mutter ähnelt in dem Alter.
Now, it certainly looks dramatic. I understand in the film we don't actually know for sure if Georg is definitely back for Anna or not, but he's certainly back in their lives. All sounds very psychological. Did it grip you?
It absolutely did. In fact, I've seen it twice, not because I didn't get it the first time, but because the machinations are so carefully layered and you really don't know who's out to get who. You just know from the first frame and from the first strains of the creepy music that this is tense and sinister. That birthday gift takes place when they're all 16 in the former East Germany. And then years later, Paul has grown up, has a nice job in a bank, and his new boss is Jörg. But he has no idea whether Jörg actually remembers that little arrangement they made. and that makes everything incredibly interesting and very layered.
I can imagine it's one of those films I would definitely have to go and see twice if it's that complicated. Now, interestingly enough, this has a French director, Denis Decour, but the story takes place in Germany, like you said. All the dialogue, as we've seen, is in German. It's a very cool concept, of course, for fans of European integration among you. Is there a point, though, to it being set in Germany, or did he just get funding from Germany?
No, there's a simple explanation. He was raised in France. This is his 9th feature film, but he moved to Germany with his family in 2010, and so he started making films in German, and he's hired the very, very best, the cream of the German actors, especially in the expressionist and sort of stiff former East German style. But he's bringing a French sensibility to a very, very German story.
Very interesting stuff. Well, we'll stay with this international theme because the leaders of the French film industry invited buyers and distributors from all across the world to Paris at the weekend for a big movie bonanza. Now, Lisa, this was all put on by Unifrance, an enormous agency devoted to promoting French films worldwide. And they have done quite a good job recently, it would seem. Blue is the warmest colour over the last 12 months, The Artist before that. Or is that just my impression because I live in France?
Well, we're surrounded by the French, make over 250 French films a year, but it is astonishing how persistent Unifrance is at convincing people outside of France to buy those films. Some years, way more people see French movies outside of France than see them in France. And those are just some of the big titles we've all heard of. But a little movie that came and went in France might actually sell 500,000 tickets in Russia for some reason, because there's some aspect of it. So they treat people very nicely. They bring them in from all over the world. They put them up in nice hotels. They wine and dine them, show them a lot of movies under ideal conditions, and very often it works.
OK, and our reporters actually spoke to Isabelle Giordano, who's managing director of Unifrance, and she said that for her, she thinks one of French cinema's strengths is that it's a very recognisable brand.
French cinema is like foie gras, it's like haute couture, it's like champagne, it's unique. There's only one French cinema. We are the only country all over the world able to produce action movie, comedy, art house movie, and also animation movie. So our cinema is really unique. I think we are the only one to tell stories the way we tell stories.
There we go, very proud Isabelle Giordano there from Unifrance. What she was saying there, though, about France is the only country in the world that can produce all these different genres. I mean, wouldn't the United States and China maybe have something to say about that?
Yeah, for the French martial arts market is not colossal that I'm aware of.
Pride perhaps going a little too far. But and this is fundamentally business as well, isn't it? It's not really about the creative
Absolutely. It's big, big business because French movies, by and large, don't cost that much to make in the first place. And one of the reasons that the whole world knows the French New Wave is because those films were given away practically for free to distributors, and then everything was gravy. Now, of course, every national cinema needs admissions from all over the world to sort of break even, let alone make a profit. And buyers are happy to come and see what's available, from comedies to very serious dramas. Our team spoke to a few of the buyers who attended this last weekend, the Unifrance Rendezvous with French Cinema.
Half of our films are French films, for a very simple reason. We speak the same language, and the French stars are known in Quebec. So we make the most of the promotional efforts done here in France and capitalize on that.
London is now the 7th largest French-speaking community in the world. And for a film to succeed in the UK, it has to open in London. So that means that if we can choose a French film that people in London want to see, then it's going to have a very successful career outside of London or around the UK.
So there we go, some of the suits, so to speak, of the film world explaining their interest there. But there's also a real treat for ordinary movie fans like you and me coming up, a film festival that we're all invited to. We can all attend from the comfort of our own sofas, desks, beds, or wherever you happen to have a computer And an internet connection. Lisa, this is all very exciting, isn't it?
Yes, this is the 4th edition. Again, Unifrance is behind it. They've picked 10 feature films, 10 shorts, representative of the whole range of French cinema, and they have subtitled them in an astonishing 12 languages. So if you have an internet connection, it's actually absolutely free in certain countries, South America, China, Poland, Russia, and Turkey. The rest of the world can buy film by film or pay a flat fee to watch as many as you want.
For a couple of euros, isn't it, for a feature film?
It's really not expensive. Yeah. And on the side of the short films, there's a delightful one about Paris in the 20s, animated, called Mademoiselle Kiki et les Montparnasse.
Ah, cette sacrée rotonde. On y allait comme si on rentrait chez soi. On se sentait en famille, quoi.
Et regardez, Kiki et son beau galurin.
There we go, that was Mademoiselle Kiki et les Montparnasse, which is one of the short films that you could see in myfrenchfilmfestival.com from the 17th of January to the 17th of February. Now we're going to end our show with a classic. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, a 100% musical film classic, has been made available free to view for one day only. It's all completely above board. It was available everywhere in the world over the internet on Friday. Now, Lisa, for those people who are watching who didn't manage to catch it, tell us why is this such a beloved film?
Because it's a completely unique cinematic object. It takes some getting used to because, as you said, every single line of dialogue is sung, set to the music of Michel Legrand. We see a very young Catherine Deneuve as a young woman who's madly in love, but then the outside world sort of interjects itself into her romance. And why should you see it? Well, if you've never seen it, then you really should, for the simple reason that it's really good.
Thank you very much, Lisa. A recommendation and an audition at the same time. And thanks as well for all your insights into this week's films and events. Thanks to you as well for watching the show. We're going to leave you with a little excerpt of the magic of the Umbrellas of Cherbourg. We'll see you next week for more film fun.
J'appellerai ma fille Françoise.
Et si c'est un garçon?
Ce sera une fille. Il y a toujours eu des filles dans la famille. Une heure, si maman ne dort pas, oh là, qu'est-ce que je vais entendre? Je devrais me maquiller, tu ne trouves pas?
Non, tu es très jolie comme ça.